Welcome to the Judiciary Department. After we proceed to present the different sections, I will just first tell you what judiciary means. The judiciary is a branch of authority in a country which is concerned with law and legal system. Judiciary also the ones who evaluate laws. And under judiciary, it has the Supreme Court, which is the highest and has the ultimate power to decide constitutional questions and other appeals based on the jurisdiction granted by the Constitution. Powers and duties of the Judiciary Department. Rule 135, the Rules of Court. Section 1. Courts always open. Justice to be promptly and impartially administered. Courts of justice shall always be open, except on legal holidays, for the filing of any pleadings, motion, or other papers, for the trial of cases, hearing of motions, and for the issuance of orders or redations of the judgments. Justice shall be impartially administered without unnecessary delay.
Section 2. Publicity of proceedings and records. The setting of every court of justice shall be public, but any courts in its discretion exclude the public and the evidence to be adduced is of such nature as to require their exclusion in the interest of morality or decency. The records of every court of justice shall be public records and shall be available for the inspection of any interested person at all proper business hours, undertaking the supervision of the clerk having custody of such records, unless the court shall, in any special case, have forbidden their publicity in the interest of morality or decency.
Section 3. Process of the Superior Courts enforced throughout the Philippines. Process issue from a superior court in which a case is pending to bring a defendant or for arrest of any accused person, or to execute any order or judgment of the court may be enforced in any part of the Philippines.
Section 4 of Inferior Courts. The process of inferior court shall be enforceable within the province where the municipality or city lies. It shall not be served outside the boundaries of the province in which they are comprised, except with the approval of the judge of the regional trial court of said province, and only the following cases. When an order for the delivery of personal property lies outside the province is to be complied with. When an attachment of real or personal property lie outside the province is to be made. When the action is against two or more defendants residing in different provinces, and when the place where the case has been brought in that is specified in a contract in writing between the parties, or is the place of the executions of such contract as appear therefrom. A right of execution is issued by inferior court may be enforced in any part of the Philippines without any previous approval of the judge of first instance. Criminal process may be issued by justice of the peace of other inferior courts to be served outside his province with the district judge, or in his absence the provincial fiscal shall certify that in his opinion the interests of justice require such services.
Section 6. Means to carry jurisdiction into effect. When by the law, jurisdiction is conferred on a court or judicial officer, all extra rates, processes, and other means necessary to carry it into effect may be employed by such court or officer. And if the procedure to be followed in the exercise of such jurisdiction is not specifically pointed out by law or by these rules, any suitable processes or mode of proceeding may be adopted which appears conformable to the spirit of said law or rules.
Section 7. Trial and hearings order in the chambers. All trial upon the merit shall be conducted in open court and so far as convenient in a regular courtroom. All other acts or proceeding may be done or conducted by a judge in chambers, without the attendance of clerk or other court officials.
Section 8. Interlocutory orders out of province. A judge of regional trial court shall have power to hear and determine, when within the district taught without his province, any interlocutory motion or issue after due and reasonable notice to the parties, on the filing of petition for the writ of habeas corpus or for release upon bail or reduction of bail in any regional trial court. The hearing may omit be had at any place in the judicial district which the judge shall deem convenient.
Now, let's talk about the fairnesses in the Judiciary Department. By the nature, the judiciary is a fair and just system where its decisions are based on the ground as stipulated by the law that instilled neutrality and fairnesses rather than to the judgment of the legislative or the executive whereby law. The President install his set of Chief and Associate Justice in the Supreme Court. In the article titled Perspectives on Judicial Independence in the Philippines, Politico-Ethical Nomos gives an insight on the both fairnesses and unfairnesses of the justice system in the country. Accordingly, the judiciary basic guides for doing its decision is the Constitution, wherein this discussion promotes neutrality and fairnesses. In such cases, the credibility of judiciary was once hampered by the ouster of the Chief Justice Renato Corona last 2012 due to the so-called anomalies in the justice system under his tenure, that in which puts the very judicial exercise at risk, where things simplify, just politicized up back then. On the bright side though, the priority disbarment assistant fund or simply pork barrel was instated by the Corona's successor, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, wherein several senators at the time were imprisoned for having such funds used on the purposes not allowed by the government, in which it showed corruption. Meanwhile, where is some sort of a code of judicial conduct, where a law practitioner shall observe at all times, in which it is to observe professionalism and retain credibility on the judiciary under perspective of neutrality and fairnesses. In summary, neutrality and fairnesses are not always observed when several practitioners are somewhat unaware or aware that a basis is already made that hamper that result of a given cases or a rules that sometimes runs contrary to the sentiments of the people in such cases, though the code of judicial conduct assure the limitation of those in judiciary that observing it assure full credibility of the system. Evaluate the performance of the Philippines judiciary as a dispenser of justice and protector of constitutional safeguard to freedom. In this question, it will be based on once again to this the same PDF files as in number 3. In this case, several apps and drones are already discussed in the previous question, wherein it will be further emphasized here to sweep up the things we discuss here. In this case, if we are to be based the judiciary from 1 to 10 on the basis its job as a dispenser of justice and protector of all constitutional safeguard to freedom, their performance will feel somewhere between 6 or 7. It is because that in terms of justice earns, some of them are still seeking for justice, where it comes with a seeing justice delayed, injustice denied. Take the 29 Maguindanao massacre as a perfect example for this matter, where until now the case is still ongoing with the uncertainty as when it.
Powers and duties of the judiciary.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。
Let's talk about the Judiciary Department. It's just by the nature, the Judiciary Department. What's this?